Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Facebook Live with Track Shack. We are trying something a little different and going in the evening, which we've done, I think, once before. But Monday mornings when we've been going every month, and we know some of you guys are at work, and we'd love to get a little more engagement from you. So here we are, evening time. Give us your feedback. Let us know if you like this, but also if you are watching right now, please feed us your questions. I've got my man Angel on the laptop. He's going to be reading them to us live, and we want to answer them as we're going along whenever we're able to. We've got an awesome topic tonight. We're talking about how to train for endurance events with Track Shack. That's that marathon and half marathon distance. I've got two great guests to discuss it with me. Amanda Moorhead on my right with Marathon Fest, Carrie Gregory, head of our Galloway training program to my left. I am Chris Hughes, Director of Retail Operations, joining you as always. Really excited for this topic. Stoked to jump into the meat and potatoes of it. But you guys know me, I would be remiss if I didn't get in my plugs, starting with what I'm wearing. I love this shirt. I love Lululemon just in general. If you guys know me, that's like my favorite brand to run in that we carry. Metal Vent Surge, best shirt to run in. So come check the new colors of that out. But also what I'm wearing, the 5-year tee, my favorite shirt from them to lounge in. And because of our partnership with them, we've got it co-branded, have this awesome retro Track Shack logo on it. 2 colors in men's right now. I already got both. And then 2 coming in ladies. All right, so check those out. Very, very soft. Amanda was enjoying the softness earlier, but
pretty soft. Not gonna lie.
Anyway, a couple other cool new things as well. The new Forerunner series from Garmin just dropped. 245, both with and without music. You've got the 45 as well as the new 945. So if you're in need of a GPS watch, definitely come check those out and talk to some of our experts on that subject. Next race coming up, Watermelon 5K, always a blast. And it looks like, well, invite questions. We don't have a question yet, but do ask us if you've got any. Remember, we do have Angel reading those live to us. But we're going to get into the nitty gritty now. Thank you for tuning in. Hit like if you're enjoying this. Tag someone who should watch it later on. Type those questions in comments and let us know what you're training for. So let's get started. Track Shack offers 2 group training programs that begin in June, Marathon Fest and Galloway. So Carrie, what is the difference between Galloway training and the Marathon Fest programs?
So Galloway is all based on run, walk, run, and it is created by the Olympian Jeff Galloway, and the idea is that you will stay injury-free and be able to run forever. All
right. Very cool. So what can you add to that, Amanda, that kind of differentiates Marathon Fest from Galloway?
So as Carrie described, Galloway follows Jeff Galloway's guidelines. Well, Marathon Fest is kind of more of a blend of several different training philosophies. It's based on a 3-day-a-week method. We do a Tuesday speed work day, a Thursday hill or tempo run day, and then our Saturday long run days. We have kind of a run fast or run less method to it. We do have a variety of pace groups, everywhere from very fast Boston qualifiers to other groups that do utilize a run-walk method as well. It's just a little bit different than the Galloway method of run-walk, different intervals. All of those are available if you're interested in seeing what we offer on the Track Shack website.
Yes.
Under training programs under Marathon Fest.
There you go. And yeah, Galloway is a link under that as well, trackshack.com, training programs, and then you can click either of those 2 links, Marathon Fest or Galloway. Going back to Galloway and jumping off of what Amanda was just talking about as far as all the availability of different pace groups within Marathon Fest, I know, Carrie, that Galloway is a great beginner program. Is it only for beginners?
Absolutely not. So we have people that are going from couch to 5K essentially, all the way to people that are doing Boston and training for Boston, and really everything in between.
Very cool. I know our mutual friend Chris Twiggs, the head of the national program for Galloway, has qualified for Boston a couple of times doing it.
Yes.
And shout out to Jerry, who just joined in.
Awesome.
Hi, Jerry. And I think Amanda was saying earlier, Jeff at what, 70 years old has just qualified once again.
I feel like it was at Space Coast, but I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
Very cool. Well, shout out to my buddy Pete Vaughn then down in Melbourne that puts that race on. Yeah. So cool. Basically, range of paces at both is what we're saying, right? So maybe slightly different methodologies in terms of the intervals, but they are both available for all levels of runners. So it's day 1. I'm just showing up to Galloway. It's my very first practice, Carrie. What do I have to expect?
So on the first day, June 1st, you are going to run your timed magic mile. So 4 laps around the Glen Ridge track, and we will use that and base that information to get you into the correct pace group. So correct interval, correct run walk ratio.
Okay, awesome. And you hear us talking about pace groups. Like we keep saying that over and over. So especially if this is your first time really listening on a subject like this, or you've never done group training before, it's so important because that pace is going to help you reach that goal time, right? And this group is about the accountability of getting you there in practice. So Carrie just described the Magic Mile that figures out your pace group for Galloway. We do it a little bit differently in Marathon Fest. Amanda, explain how we figure out the right pace group in that program.
Okay. So when you register, if you register for Marathon Fest, we have you kind of put in a recent race time, and that helps us start to narrow down where your group is. We'll have you run a timed 5K on the first Thursday, and then Saturday you'll go out with a group that we kind of feel like you're the right one for. My best advice to you is to pick a group that you can run comfortably with on a Saturday, that you can talk while you're running, that you're not too far ahead of or too far behind.
Sure.
It may not be exactly where your goal is, but I want you to start where you're at right now and work towards that goal. You can always change the groups later on as your fitness improves.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we've already touched on that twice, right? Like we talked about how you can do additional measure. Did we? Actually, that might have been in rehearsal we touched on it, but I know we did talk about that you can come back and do another Magic Mile, Carrie, right,
Absolutely.
with Galloway. So
Yes.
getting ahead of myself there, guys. But the same is true in Marathon Fest. Like, don't be let down if you show up that first day and the group that you're assigned into isn't your goal pace for the race. Because through the course of this brutal hot summer, as things cool off, as you run more miles, you get more fit, you can go and move up groups according to your improvement. So you can still get to that goal time, but don't overdo it at the beginning. Start where you're comfortable. Being conversational on long runs is like what I always tell new runners building up mileage. Like if you can't talk right now, you probably should back it off a little.
Right.
That's a great
Years
point, Amanda.
ago, when I was a pace group leader, I had a guy who trained with us, and we all knew he was faster than us, but he ran all his long miles nice and slow with us, and he crushed his race, like way faster than our pace was.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's something to be said for running slow with you girls. And I'm like, thanks. So it really does help to have
Absolutely.
people that you can run with and train with.
Absolutely, and you can also, you push too hard in a long run, you might not have as much in the gas come race day.
Yes.
So, all right, all good stuff there. If you guys are just tuning in, reminder, I'm Chris here with Carrie and Amanda. We're talking endurance training, half marathons, full marathons. If you're digging it, click the like button, tag people who should watch it later, type questions and comments, and my next question for you ladies that I also want the folks at home to tell us what race you're training for. So are either of you specifically training for anything right now?
I'm not. I need a fall marathon.
I
need some
am,
help.
actually. I am running New York City again. So
That's awesome.
I know,
Full?
I'm very excited. The full marathon, yes.
That
Might be
is-
my last one, but I'm trying to go out with a bang because New York City is, I think, one of the best races ever.
I hear so many, my
love
dad's his 6, I think, last Boston's, right? It's
Mhm.
always the, so we'll see if it's the last. But yeah, awesome.
It might
Congrats
be,
on
it
getting
might be.
in.
We'll see how it goes.
Fair enough. That's great though. But yeah, definitely guys, let us know what you're training for as well. Any questions you have about the training along the way. And so the focus has been on pace a lot and on groups. We refer to the groups within Marathon Fest as being group coached. That's the terminology. What can someone expect from that? Amanda, elaborate kind of on that concept.
So each week you'll get an email from Susan Paul, who's our program director for all the programs. She kind of tells you what the workouts for the week, like the options are. Usually there's 1 or 2 track workout options or a mile repeat option. We have a Thursday hill or strength run, and she kind of gives you lots of information about why that race is going to be, or that pace will be important to you, and then kind of what the targeted long run mileage will be. The coaches are there to help you get started on the workout, explain it to you, get you going, tell you which way you're going. We try to match you up with other people that are similar to your pace to get you going the right way, and
Sure.
so you don't get lost in the streets of Winter Park.
That helps. The mean streets of Winter Park.
The mean streets of Winter Park.
Yes.
A peacock might come after
Whew.
you. It's
They're
happened.
dangerous. Oh,
They're
absolutely.
crazy, those peacocks.
Absolutely.
But we really just want to help you get through the mileage. So the coaches are always there and present. Even though running is considered a solo sport, you're running against the clock. We find that we're stronger if we train together.
Awesome. And at what days and times are you doing this, Carrie? And then I'll follow up with you, Amanda, about the Marathon Fest times.
So we run Tuesday, Thursday morning at Glenridge Middle School at 5 a.m. I know it's early, but believe me, you will be happy that it's over. And generally it's not raining at 5 a.m. And we also run Saturday morning.
Hey, Reggie. Reggie's training for the Space Coast Half.
Awesome,
Nice.
Reggie. Hey,
Yes,
good
it's a
luck.
great
It's a great
race.
race.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Now, are there evening plans available, Carrie? I know you said everything's at 5. Is there an evening option for folks, or maybe that's a little early?
Sadly, no.
No.
I'm sorry.
All right. Set those alarm clocks, folks, if Galloway
Yes.
is your mission. And then with Marathon Fest, Amanda, I believe a little bit of a mix of evenings and mornings,
We do.
right?
We also offer Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 5 a.m. and we also offer Tuesday and Thursday evenings with me at 6 p.m.
There you go.
And yes, it rains sometimes. As long as it's not thundering and lightning, we do run in the rain.
Sometimes cooler than the heat and humidity.
Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
The rain feels lovely, and it can rain on race day. I've run a couple of
Absolutely.
races where it's raining, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
I've done this. I've run in the rain. It's no big deal.
Yeah, for sure. And is there any water or hydration available to these folks out on that course?
There is. So on our weekday workouts, there's usually water at the start/finish, and then somewhere else along our course. And then on Saturdays, both programs utilize the same 10-mile route through Winter Park. And we have water and a new hydration sponsor, if you want to talk about our new hydration sponsor.
Yes, I do. How did you know? So Noon has agreed to sponsor the training programs this year. We're super pumped about that partnership. For folks that have done the program in the past, you know it's been Gatorade. For those of you first joining, it is now going to be Noon that we have on course. I think the three of us are all excited because that's what we all use.
I love
we
Noon.
would go to those runs and this other stuff was out on the course, but we would usually be using our own Noon, just a product we really believe in. Come in the store and ask us more about it. We did bring in a few of their newer products. We got the rest, the vitamins. But really good stuff there. So we've touched on the mean streets of Winter Park a couple of times.
Mean streets of Winter Park.
Yeah, so that seems to be where the bulk of the training is. Can you describe those courses in a little bit more detail?
So our course for Marathon Fest, we start at Katy Way Park, and we kind of run over to Glen Ridge. We cut through the Winter Park 9th Grade Center, Rollins College. We come kind of around past, I think it's Lake Alabama or something like that. I don't know. It's a big lake. And over to Phelps Park, sort of like where our circle is. We do add...
I wasn't expecting turn by turn. That's fantastic.
I'm good with directions.
Yes.
Sometimes we'll add on a few additional courses if we have really long, like 20-mile days. We've got a few to keep it a little bit like more interesting on there. But and our weekday workouts run through the neighborhoods near Glen Ridge.
Very cool. And is that about the same for you guys as well, Carrie?
About the same, yes.
Awesome.
Shout out
So
to
shout out to Francis
Francis.
doing the Wine and Dine half. We will see you out there.
Yes.
So, target races. We talked about your training for New York,
New York.
Amanda, which I believe is up on the list here.
Yes, there
Yes.
is.
So there's a second there.
Look at that.
And I know Carrie said you're looking for your fall race right now, but are there races specifically targeted by the training programs? Like, are there goal events you're working towards in this session?
Yeah, I think both of the programs probably target a lot of the same big races. Your New York, your Chicago, Marine Corps. I know we have a group of Marathon Fest people going to Berlin.
Oh, very cool.
Yes, it's exciting. It's one of the majors. It's pretty.
Yeah. A really great course from what I've heard.
International travel is supposed to be flat, so I hear that's a great
Yes.
one. We do Jacksonville Beach Bank Beach, Jacksonville, on there, and both of our, Jacksonville. And then I'm sure both of our programs will target the Disney, the Goofy, the Dopey for those people that like a little extra.
Of course.
Challenge.
Been there, done it a few times.
Of course.
It's fun. And most of the half races on there.
All right. And
then
shout
I
out to
think
Jerry, who's doing Goofy.
Oh,
Yes.
Jerry's perfectly goofy if it's the Jerry I'm thinking of.
Oh, are you
I'm-
perfectly Goofy, Jerry? Can
I'm
you confirm
almost
that you are
positive
indeed
I know
Amanda's
that
Jerry?
Jerry, and I'm pretty sure she's perfectly goofy.
All right.
So she
There we
does that
go.
every year, and she runs in the evening in the mean streets of Winter Park.
Oof.
There you go.
And I think Galloway
Tough
targets
lady.
a few other races.
Yeah, is there some
Yeah.
differences in terms
Yes.
of the goals? Okay.
So like Amanda said, we target all of the main majors of the fall season for marathons, and then we also target the JG 13.1 and then the Donna in Jacksonville.
Which, if you're wondering about the back and forth on Bank and Beach, all right, we do target two
There's
Jacksonville
two
races, right?
races.
So Jacksonville Bank, which is a half and full, and as is Donna, actually.
Yes, and-
Both in Jacksonville.
Yes.
One's usually late December, one's usually February. And shout out First Place Sports. I already shouted out my friends at Running Zone in Melbourne with Space
There you
Coast,
go.
but my former employers and very good friends, First Place Sports, up there in Jacksonville with those two.
Yeah, Marathon Fest will also...
And shout out to Shannon, who loves Galloway.
Oh, thank you, Shannon.
Fantastic. Marathon Fest will also target Donna, but that comes in our next season.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. So, we talked about, I think, most of the benefits of joining the program. I think the groups and the pacing, the hydration out on the course, the fact that it's already mapped out, there's coaches helping you target the goal. Like, there's lots of great stuff here. But, oh gosh, my mom's asking a question.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she just wanted to say that she and John liked Berlin. Actually, loved Berlin.
Oh,
That's where I
there you
got
go.
some of my insight from when I said I've heard good things about the course. My parents have been raving about that one since I was a child when they ran it. So, and everyone else I know really who has. But what are some of the benefits you might not even think about on the surface to joining, Amanda?
Right, so we have a few of them listed here. Some of them we've already talked about, some that are different. If you do join one of our training programs, you get a discount card that you can bring into the store and get a discount
Yes,
here
do
at the
bring
store.
it. We like to see it.
They do like to see it. They'll ask for it. You also get a discount to the OUC Orlando Half Marathon, which is kind
Awesome.
of exciting, yes. And then for me, I think it's accountability. I know how many times I have not bailed on a run because I knew somebody was meeting me at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Right.
And you don't want to be the jerk that
No.
calls and says, "Hey, just kidding,"
Yeah.
when that person's already up and like
That's the
dressed. It
worst.
is the worst.
Yeah.
That and safety. So, shout out to Vanessa,
Oh,
who's
go
running the Marine
Vanessa.
Corps.
Awesome,
That's
Vanessa.
exciting.
Yeah, another great course.
Beautiful.
The best marathon.
I've never done that one, but that
That is.
might. So when New York's my last one, Marine Corps might be on the list.
Oh, okay. All right,
Maybe.
all right.
We'll see. But safety, I think, is the other
Absolutely.
big
Yeah.
benefit.
Always safety in numbers.
Right. You keep seeing reports of people, things happening to them when they run alone, even if it's like Kara Goucher who just got attacked by a mountain lion, which is
Right.
crazy.
Well, we kind of joke about the mean streets of Winter Park. You never know.
You never
it's
know.
always good to have, those extra
Yes.
folks around you to help keep you safe, but also to keep you on pace.
Right,
Like we keep
yes.
coming back to that, but that pace group is so essential
very helpful.
to helping you reach that final goal.
Mhm. Keeps you accountable, and I've never felt alone when I'm out there.
Very cool. And you get noon on
And
course
you
now.
get noon on the course
So-
on our Saturdays now.
Benefits upon benefits. Ladies, thank you both so much for joining me. Do you guys have any final details you kind of want to throw in about your two programs? And Shannon highly recommends the Donna,
Yes,
which I would
do
as well.
Yes.
That's the one of 2 on there that I've participated in. Yes, I knew it was that one, but I was trying to figure out how many total I'd done. No, 3. I've done that half, and that half. So there we go.
You haven't done your own half, the OUC half?
I've not, because I've worked it every year.
Oh.
But my girlfriend swears she is training for it and going to run it this year. So
All right.
if she's watching right now, she's gonna be super mad because I just put that out
You
on
did
live
just
to a
put
bunch
her
of
out on
people.
that.
But even though I also always get back from Austin, Texas, in a big conference the day before, but I told her I will still get up and run it with her if she does it this year. So that would be my
I
first.
like it. That's nice.
Yes.
Ralphie!
And Ralphie, my man,
Ralphie
shouting
from
out noon,
Team
Ralphie
Track
on Team
Shack.
Track Shack. I'm assuming.
Yes.
I'm assuming.
That's the only Ralphie I know. And
Angel
he's
confirms.
He's a new ambassador. So
New ambassador
you go.
and new Team Track Check members, so
Yes.
awesome there. But yeah, any kind of final notes there, ladies? Favorite races, best tips, practices?
I think one thing we didn't mention is that Marathon Fest, if you're thinking about joining it and you have a later race, like a half, if you have Disney or a half marathon, we want your base mileage to be around 4 miles right now. And if
Sure.
you have something that's an earlier race, like Chicago or New York or Marine Corps, we will start that first Saturday at 10 miles.
Okay,
So
Yeah,
you
that's a really
do
great
want
point.
to know that.
Yeah, so it doesn't just depend on the session.
Right.
It does depend on which races within
Yes.
each session. Mom says wear lights. It says Betsy says on the sign, but I know that's Mom. And she is everybody's mom in this community, let's be honest. Night runners who live in the house that I grew up in with my mom and dad, weirdly enough, but the best lights you can
Crazy.
wear. Marathon Fest members, definitely check those out here and use your Marathon Fest discount on them. I should have brought some up here. But Carrie, any final kind of Galloway pointers?
I would agree with what Amanda said. If you're training for an early fall marathon, make sure that your mileage is around 8 or 10. And
Okay.
starting for a half, really, you could be coming from the couch.
There you
Totally
go.
fine.
All right, awesome. Just start with that magic mile. Remember to like and share this, comment on it, share it with folks that you think should be watching it later. Continue to let us know what you're training for. Continue to hit us with questions. We'll try to follow up after the fact. Come get your Lululemon 5-year tees with the Track Shack logo. Run this patriotic shoe. Reminds me that we should all run the Watermelon 5K on July 4th. And yeah, don't forget about the Garmin or Noon either. But most importantly, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next month. Let us know what topics you want to hear about. It's going to be foam rolling next month, but we want you guys to kind of drive those topics.